Welcome to my workshop. I'm Tina. Today is Friday, September 20th. This is episode 29 of my weekly podcast update thing. It is currently 58 degrees. So it's a little on the chilly side and foggy, but that's what happens in the Bay Area. You don't leave the house without something warm because you just never know. Okay. I got interrupted. I'm not sure exactly where I was at. I think I was talking about the weather, my usual start of video thing. So it's supposed to be in the 80s today. And then I think I heard we're supposed to be 100 plus again next week. So you never know, but we usually go down in the 40s at night, and then we're up in the 80s or something during the day. So that's why I say you never leave home without something, because you don't know if you'll get stuck and all of a sudden you're freezing cold and you could have been roasting all day. So that's the way our crazy weather is. We'll get right into it. Finished objects. I have one finished object that I can actually show you, and that is my fall socks. I love how they came out. I think they are beautiful and cozy and like perfect for me. And this is Happy Mermaid Yarn Company yarn. Oktoberfest is the colorway. It's a DK yarn. I did the DK Vanilla Socks by Kay Linton from Crazy Sock Lady. It's a free pattern. I will link everything below. And the only difference I did was hers was a 2x2 rib, and I did a 1x1 rib. But otherwise I followed her pattern, and then I did for my foot 58 stitches. There was one other thing. I did a size 2 needle because I've been knitting loose. And I mean, even if you look at this, it's still not really loose, but it's a looser knit. And these are the medium size, but they are still a little loose on my foot, which I actually like for this one because this is more of a house sock and not an everyday sock. And when I have house socks, I like them a little bit loose, especially if I go to sleep in them, because I don't want them squeezing my toes. So for that, I really like it. I actually put this on the large sock blocker, so that gives you an idea. But which I do have big feet. I have a size 10 foot. I have big feet. But I did do the medium size with a needle size down, and they're still loose. But I love them. They're perfect for me. So, and I had a little bit left. Of course, I had a little bit more of the red left than these. There was not really enough to say if I did another pair of socks to be able to really switch those colors and still utilize them that way. But I am going to add them in to my Cozy Memories blanket, and which I have that now to add into it, but I have not worked on Cozy Memories blanket. So that is like my main finished object. I had told you last week I got my Wonderland yarns in. I have been waiting on the knit pattern so that I could do my video on it. I have worked up 2 of the crochet squares, and I am about halfway through the knit square. So of course I cannot show this to you right now because you have to wait until Wednesday to see that. So come back Wednesday and see it. But if you have been working on the Wonderland yarns, if you're doing the subscription to do the blanket, I do suggest come back and watch my video, because there are some things that you're going to want to probably know. I mean, not that you can't figure it out. That's how I did it. I figured it out. But some things that you might want to know ahead of time before you start your squares. So that video will be on Wednesday. I just have to finish the one square and then I can record it. So that's the extent of my finished objects. However, I have been doing a lot of laser cutting, number one, trying to get things ready for Lambtown. And I'm still kind of like, I want to show you guys what I've been working on, but I also don't. But I have like stacks of things sitting in front of me and trying to get the designs all right in the computer and get the things cut. And now that I've been getting the stuff cut, I'm at that point, which I still have some I need to set up and design, but I need to wipe down all the pieces, because when they go through the laser cutter, see if I can show you. You see that on my thumb just from rubbing one? It gets the soot on it, and I don't want that on somebody's yarn. So I've got to wipe them all down, and then I'm going to oil them all just because they look nicer and it's better for the wood. I haven't decided. I was thinking about doing some staining, but that might be a little bit too much. So I might just do the wiping down, oiling. I have a lot of different stitch markers I've done. So I have lots of jump rings and lever backs so that I can finish off the stitch markers. So it's like each one of those tiny stitch markers has to be wiped down. Then it has to have the rings all put into them and everything. So it's time consuming. So I've been spending a lot of time on that. And then I've also been spending a lot of time outside working on wool. So I'm taking you on a little field trip outside so you can see some of the stuff that I have been working on this last week. This wool has all been washed and skirted. I've been working on trying different kinds of natural dyes so you can see some of these different colors. I won't give you too much information, but if this is the kind of thing that would interest you, learning about my skirting process, my scouring process, my natural dyeing process, and then I will also be doing carding and stuff. I'm going to have a series coming up on all this. And that top one is avocado pits, believe it or not, and Osage orange on the bottom. And I'm just getting ready to drain this one. This is some more Osage orange that I had actually cooked yesterday. So I'm going to take out the wood, and you can kind of see the coloring in there, and I'm going to dye some fleece. So it's going to be really fun. I super enjoy this. Like this right here is chrysanthemum, and they have these beautiful like really dark flowers, and believe it or not, I get like nothing out of the flowers, but these leaves will give me a beautiful yellow color. And I found that out just by experimenting, which is what I love to do. So that has been taking a lot of my time this week, trying to get these things done while the weather will still let me do it. This is all one Hampshire fleece. This and this is all from one fleece. And this has been my best color so far, which is from Marigold. And it is so pretty. And it's Marigold out of my yard. You can see the crimp on the fleece right there. So again, if this is something that you would be interested in learning more about, I will have a video series coming up very soon on that. So if you would like, if you're interested in that kind of thing, then make sure and stay tuned for my series that will be coming up. I don't know how many videos I will break it up into, but it will be some multi-videos on my process of what I've been doing. And been trying to get it done while the weather's good, because I should have done it earlier in the summer, but it was just too hot to sit out there and do it. Let's see. Other works in progress. Oh, getting ready for Lambtown. Again, my husband's been working on spindles and bowls. I didn't bring the bowls over. I just have a couple of the spindles here. Aren't these pretty? I still need to oil them and stuff, but they're so pretty. So, and then, you know, you just never know what's going to happen. Like this one was coming out really cool with this mushroom shape and everything. And he was working on it, and all of a sudden it just split and went flying across the workshop. So, oh, and this is called When You're Dying, Pay Attention and Don't Do What I Do. And I opened up the pot, not paying attention to how I was doing it, so I got steam burned. I knew better. It's my own fault. In case you were wondering. Let's see. Okay, so I do have a couple works in progress that I've been doing that I've been trying not to pick up a bunch of stuff and start something new right now, because I do have things I need to get done, like my son's cable scarf, the Quay scarf, which I did not touch this last week. Cozy Memories, it's a work in progress, but it's one that's evolving as I do things, because it's, you know, memories of different projects. So that one I'm not so worried about, but I need to work more on the Wonderland yarns so I can have that done by the end of the year. And I need to work on his scarf so that I can also then eventually work on the sweater for him. But for that same child, okay, my Scooby-Doo project bag made by me. This is another project I have for him. So this is my youngest child. I have two boys. In case you didn't know, I have two boys. One is 20 and the other one will be 23 in November. And giant children. My youngest is 6'5". My oldest is 6'3". Absolutely wonderful children. My younger one is the one who encouraged me to start the YouTube channel and helps me with all the techie stuff. He helps me do my thumbnails and all this laser cutting I've been doing. He's the one who's been helping me design things and stuff. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible, because I just wouldn't know what to do. And he's my musical one. He's the one that we got this was our tattoo, because he's my guitar player and everything. I showed you the guitar the one time that he had built. My other one is also artistic. You know, we have a creative family. But he's more artistic along the lines of drawing and painting and things like that, and learning to tattoo. And he is my social butterfly, where my younger one is more of a stay-at-home type, and they both work with their dad in family business. So anyway, little side note there. So this one is another one I've been working on for my younger son. So I've showed you a while back, I did the Mystery Machine Musselburgh hat for him. There was another ribbed dark blue hat I had done for him. The scarf is for him. The sweater, when I eventually get there, is for him, and this is for him. He loves when I make him stuff. I love being able to make him stuff. So this is my Glaciers hat, Nancy Bates design, and I've just started changing colors, and so I'm just starting. I'm on like the 4th or 5th row of the color change, and the yarn I'm using is a local dyer that dyes specifically for these. She does the Knit the National Parks. It also comes with the little, come on, focus again, you were just focused. Comes with the little patch and everything, and it is working up really nicely. Like I said, I just started to do the color change. I'm trying to find my other needle stopper here. I stuck it in the bag. Had an appointment this morning, and I was working on it at the appointment and wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and there we go. Now I don't have to worry about the stuff coming off. So that is where I am with that, and it's very squishy, and I love it. And these are the 4 different colors that will be going into this hat, and the hat is reminiscent of the lake, I guess it is, with the pebbles that you can see through the super clear water and everything. So it's a fun one. I am enjoying it. I'm currently, I just have 2 color changes, 2 there, 2. Most of the time you only have 2 colors you're changing. There's only 1 point right here for a few rows that you have 3 colors. So it's simple in the sense of, no, I take it back, that's still 2 colors because that's your decrease. Helps if I look at it right. Yeah, so you never have more than 2 colors you're dealing with. So that's makes it really nice. So I guess I should, now that I am at a decent point here, where did I put it? Oh, put a little progress keeper in here so you can see how I'm progressing. So I'll stick that right there and we'll see how far I get next week. So again, like I said, I'm trying not to pick up too many things and actually finish some of the stuff that I have going. And I do have one that I am planning to start in the next day or 2. Because I feel bad. I'm always making stuff for this son and not for my other one, though my other one doesn't ask me for things. And I told him, I said, I want to make you the Musselboro hat. What color would you like? I said, not black. And he's like, oh, dang. I said, 1, because I want to use the nice, really nice yarns. It's hard to get a really nice black. 2, yeah, you know, black is not easy to work with. So he's sitting there and he's trying to think, and I said, you really want black, don't you? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. Well, I found a yarn by Weird Sisters, and it's got like a kind of, it goes from like a black to a gray with these tiny little specks of red into it, which are like, is like totally him. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get that. That'll be easier to work with. I think he'll still like it. And I'm going to, I've got these little leather, you know, sew-on patches, and I still need to do the one for my son's hat. I want to put the mystery machine on it, and then I'm going to do one for this hat too when I do it. So that is supposed to come in, I think, tomorrow. So when that comes in, then I will probably cast on the Musselboro hat so I can be working on that one for him. I do have one other work in progress. If you saw my video on Wednesday, you saw my giant bag that I made, and I did this for a couple reasons. One of the main reasons was to use this yarn that was sitting in my stash and do something with it, but I am using it as a stash project too, so it is actually full of little things of yarn that I am tired of looking at every time. I've got giant skeins of yarn too, but I have so many of these that are not full skeins, and they sit there and I'm tired of looking at them. And these are all acrylic, and I'm like, I've totally got to destash. So they're in there, and I'm randomly sticking my hand in and feeling and not paying attention to the color I pull out. The only thing I am doing is trying to grab the smallest balls first. So I'm just feeling like, okay, what size does this feel like, and grabbing a smaller one, and then working with whatever color it happens to be. And I saw Dana Ray Makes on Instagram was working this rectangle blanket. And she's doing this autumn one, doing the really nice yarn, smaller hook and everything. And it's absolutely a gorgeous blanket. And I'm like, that's a really easy, like granny rectangle blanket to work and use scraps. And then Shelly DePomp from Polka Dot Creek, she started working on one. And now the other girls are working on one too. And there's a pattern on YouTube. It's a video explaining how to do it. I went by the video. It is the Peppy Rectangle Blanket by Crochet Me Lovely. And so that's the one I went by. And I went by hers and I chained 20. So I started mine with a chain of 20. Shelley DuPont, she did a chain of 41. So hers is going to be longer than mine in a sense, but she's also using a much smaller hook and smaller yarn. I think she's doing fingering and mine is worsted. Now this blanket is worked, you work your round and then you go the opposite direction so that you keep a nice straight rectangle and it doesn't slant. So that's what I'm doing. Well, a lot of people are, they work their row, they disconnect, they connect again, and then they work the row. Well, I want to utilize every bit of this yarn. It is truly a scrap blanket. I'm not worried about the way the colors are changing or anything. I just want to use it. So when I get to the end of my row, I'm going up and turning and going back just like the pattern says. So I have some weird little things on it, but I started it a couple days ago and this is where I am currently at. So it is very funky with all my different colors in it. And like I said, I'm not paying attention, I'm just grabbing. But let's see if I can show you, like right here. You can see the way the color change was right here, because that's around the area where I am chaining, or not chaining, but going up a row. And so I reverse and go in the other direction, so my row's not completing right there. But like I said, I'm just using scraps. I don't really, if I cared, my colors probably would not be this, but it's not horrible. It's kind of fun. And so I have ends to weave. I've been going over my ends some as I go, but being a granny, you can only go so far. And I have also been, when I come up to my next row, I'm doing kind of a standing double crochet, but I do mine a little different than other ones I've seen. And I don't know if there's other people that do this and it could be a thing, but I don't like a typical standing double crochet, but I do like the idea of the standing and not having your chain. So like right here is where I went up this last time. And I actually go into the space, I do a single crochet, and then I do another single crochet in the top of that so that I get my height of the double crochet, and then do my next double crochet. So that's what I've been doing there, but it's kind of fun. It'll be cozy. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I'm done, if it'll become a blanket here, if it'll be a gift or a donation or what, I don't know, but I'm just going to keep working on it. It's really nice, mindless project. So I can sit and watch TV, I can lay in bed and do it. It's a granny square. I don't have to look. I can watch TV, I can do it in the dark. I don't have to pay attention to what I'm doing. I am using a size J furls crochet hook. I love my furls. So I'm doing a J, so it's really nice and loose and squishy, which means cozy. Everything in here is worsted weight. I have a massive stash of Caron Simply Soft too. None of that is going into this. Even though it is also a worsted weight, it's not going into this. One, it has a different sheen. Not that matters that much, but it has a different sheen, but it also has a slightly different thickness to it. It's slightly thinner. Even though it's a worsted weight, it's slightly thinner, so I don't really like to mix those two. But I may do one later after this one. I was thinking, because I have a lot of it, I might try to do one that's like in Christmas colors or something with just the Caron Simply Soft with my actual full skeins. I think that might be kind of fun and pretty. But this one, just going to be a big rectangular Scrappy blanket. So that is what that is being used for. So as this grows, it's going to be able to fit in there. And I've got a lot of yarn still in here to use. When I get to the end of that, then I may possibly, depending on how big this is, start grabbing some of the full skeins I have, because I have a lot. I do really need to destash, and I've been doing a lot more with the wool yarns and stuff like that, and not as much with the acrylics. Most of the stuff I do with acrylics anymore is like baby blankets. I usually always do in an acrylic because most people just don't know or want to have to deal with the way you would care for a wool blanket, and it's much easier if you've got to wash them a lot. Different things I might do for gifts and stuff, especially if it's for a child, I'll do the acrylic. Again, washing is much easier. But I have been starting to do a lot more with the nicer yarns and not purchasing the acrylic as much. And I mean, no joke, I have a big like cedar chest that was my grandmother's that is full of acrylic yarn. And that's just like the basic yarn. Then I have a drawer, big drawer in my one desk that's Caron Simply Soft. I have another smaller drawer in another spot that is all yarn that has like a glitter to it, the sparkly in it. And then I have a big box that I'm reusing from Sardar over here that's full of Caron Simply Soft. And then I utilize like my suitcases, you know, your like carry-on style suitcases, so that I can put them away, but they're not wasting space. I put things in them like yarn. So I've probably got 3 or 4 of those worth of more Caron Simply Soft. And then there's another like carry-on bag that's got some other yarns. I don't know. I have a lot of yarn, and that's like all acrylic yarn. So yeah, I seriously need to destash. And every now and then I go through the stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to use that one, and I'll bring them to church, because we have our Presbyterian Women has a handmade projects group, which I'm in charge of, and we have a closet with supplies, and so we have lots of yarns in there, and I will bring some sometimes and put them there too, so that, you know, I'm like, somebody else can use it. And wouldn't you know, anytime I get an order or something, it always seems like I don't have the color I need, and then I have to go buy more. You know, that's the way it works, right? Okay, so that's works in progress. Acquisitions. My son actually finally found me a plug for my camera that goes in the battery compartment. So now I don't have to worry about my battery going dead, which is absolutely amazing. So one less thing I have to worry about with technology. I still have to remember to actually put this on and not walk away from it or get interrupted or other things like that, but at least I don't have to worry about the battery going dead. And then I got in the mail, my aunt works for Powell's bookstore in Portland, Oregon, that massive like new and used bookstore in Portland, Oregon, that I had never actually heard about until she started working there. And then everybody's like, oh, Powell's, I love that. So you can order from them online too. And they had a big sale recently, and she bought me this book, Exploring Color and Design for Hand Weavers. And it's an older book, and she got that for me, and I have not had the chance to sit and go through it yet, but that's going to be fun. And before she sent it, she said, I want to send you a newer book too. And she gave me the names of a couple different ones. And I stopped her on the one and I said, that's on my wish list. That's one of the books I really would like to have. And she says, well, you can take it off your wish list now. So I got the Spinner's Book of Fleece. So I was super excited about that one. And it's got all kinds of fun stuff in it. Definitely one of those, if you're a spinner, it's one of those books that you should look at. I had seen it before because I'll check things out at the library, or our guild has our own library. So I already knew what was in the book. So I got those in the mail, so that was a happy treat. And they are currently vacationing in Canada with some friends, and I said, well, if you go by a yarn store, you need to make sure and get me a skein of either their own personal colorway or some green yarn to go in my, the shawl that I'm going to make. And so they had sent some pictures yesterday as they were going through a yarn store. So hopefully there's some yarn in my future. I can't help myself. Yes, I know I just said I need to de-stash, but it's different. That is, of course, Lambtown, October 5th and 6th. We're trying to get ready for that. Lots and lots of stuff going on there, just getting ready, making sure we have enough. We've only done one other sale with our wood stuff. I mean, I've done sales my whole life, but it was different, like craft sales and stuff. I've never done something where I have like this booth that I've got to completely stock that's going to have, 6,000 people or something come by it, and know that I'm going to have enough. And the little one that we had done recently that was like our little step into it was extremely small. So this is, I don't know. I'm hoping that we have enough, but I'm also hoping we don't have too much, and trying to figure it out when we have not done it before is a little tricky. So I'm trying to figure all that out and make sure that we at least have a fully stocked booth. And I am going to enter Henrietta. Even if I'm not entering her in a sense of I want to try and place, but last year when I entered my camel, when I had him in the local fair, I got first place. That was great. Woohoo, I got first place. And then I entered him over there and I got really great feedback on him. I didn't place at all, but I got amazing feedback that I was like, okay, this makes sense. And when I did her, I utilized some of that feedback. And out of the two things that I had done, that feedback meant more to me than that blue ribbon did, if that makes sense to you. But it did to me, and it made me a better knitter, spinner, maker, whatever. So I really liked the feedback. So she got second place at the fair, and she may get absolutely nothing at Lambtown, but if I get feedback on her that will help me do things better in the future, that's what I'm really hoping for, and I'm sure I will. So I do have her entered, and she will be making an appearance at Lambtown. So if you go and you see her, you'll have to tell her hello. You don't want to hurt her feelings. Anyway, my son, my younger son, I told you I make stuff for him all the time. He was cleaning his closet out the other day, and he came through this, and he was going to toss it, and I said, give it to me. I gotta show people this. So do you remember when the fidget spinners were like all the kids had their little fidget spinners and they're spinning them, and I decided for the fun of it to crochet my son a fidget spinner. And it does actually technically work. You know, it's not going to spin like the actual fidget spinners. It's not on a bearing, but I had, you know, fixed it through the center so it technically moved around, and I thought it was funny. And he came across it the other day and he's like, it wasn't something that he still technically wanted, but I was like, I gotta show people my little fidget spinner that I had made. I thought it came out pretty good. So that's a pass. That was many, many years ago that I did that. It was kind of fun. So anyway, I think that is it for this week. Wonderland Yarns will be on Wednesday, and then hopefully after that, the series on the wool processing will start, and then I'm hoping after that to do at least one video, if not a couple, on Christmas stuff. I like to do little tiny Christmas gifts every year, something small like this, and give to people that I might not be giving a full gift to. That's just something I've done for years now. Sometimes it's been crocheted, sometimes it's been little hand sewn felt thing. When I do that video, I'll show you some of the ones that I have done that I happen to have around where I know where they are. I did mistletoe one year, little crocheted mistletoe. 2020, I did little crocheted toilet paper Christmas ornaments with a 2020 charm on them. So I thought I would do a video on that type of thing that if you are a maker, you might like to do. So anyway, that's some stuff that will be coming up. So I hope you guys have a, oh, hey, did you see that? Right there. I don't think I showed you that yet because I don't think I had it done last week. I did that on the laser cutter. I have a sign for my husband that I had actually gotten him. It said Bill's Workshop for his woodworking. And since when we're at Lambtown, it's his stuff and my stuff. So the laser cutting is going to be my stuff, where the, you know, really nice woodworking is going to be his stuff. And I was like, I've got his sign. I need a sign too. So that's my new little sign. I need to put a hanger on it. But for now, it is sitting right there. Hopefully not falling. See if I can. Oh, you gotta go that way. Okay. So, anyway, that is one finished laser cut thing I can show you. So, okay. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend, a great next year week. I will see you on Wednesday with Wonderland Yarns, and I will see you next Saturday for another update. Bye.